Have you ever wondered if the feeling of faith, the sense of a divine presence, or even the concept of God itself might be a product of our own minds? It's a profound question that touches the very core of human experience. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating field of neurotheology, exploring the intricate connection between our brains and our beliefs. Now, this isn't about proving or disproving the existence of God. Instead, we're on a scientific journey to understand why faith is such a powerful and universal part of the human story. Let's start with a mind-bending idea: the God spot. In the 1990s, neuroscientist V.S. Ramachandran studied patients with temporal lobe epilepsy. He noticed that some of these individuals reported intense, overwhelming spiritual experiences during their seizures. This led him to hypothesize that a specific area in the temporal lobes might be wired for religious belief. He called it the God spot. The idea was electrifying. Could our connection to the divine be localized to a single part of our brain? The media loved it, and the concept of a dedicated brain circuit for God took off. However, science is all about testing and refining ideas. As technology advanced, so did our understanding of the brain. More recent studies using advanced imaging techniques like fMRI have painted a much more complex picture. It turns out there isn't just one God spot. Instead, when people engage in practices like prayer, meditation, or experience profound spiritual moments, a whole network of brain regions lights up. It's like a symphony orchestra with many different sections playing in harmony to create the experience of faith. So, which parts of the brain are in this orchestra? Let's look at some key players. First, the frontal lobes, especially the prefrontal cortex. This is our brain's CEO, responsible for focus, attention, and self-awareness. When monks meditate or nuns pray, activity in this area often increases. They are intentionally directing their focus towards a spiritual goal. It is the part of the brain that helps you tune out distractions and concentrate on your inner world, or a higher power. Then we have the parietal lobes. This region helps us build our sense of self and orient ourselves in space. It's what tells you where your body ends and the outside world begins. Here's where it gets interesting. During deep meditation or intense prayer, activity in the parietal lobes sometimes decreases. Some scientists, like the late Dr. Andrew Newberg, suggested this might explain the feeling of oneness or transcendence. When the part of your brain that defines your physical self quiets down, you might feel like you're merging with the universe or becoming one with God. It's a powerful, awe-inspiring sensation that many people describe as the peak of their spiritual life. But what about the emotional side of faith? The feeling of love, bliss, and security that often accompanies religious experience. For that, we turn to the limbic system, our brain's emotional core. Areas like the amygdala and the hippocampus are deeply involved. These structures are tied to memory, emotion, and the formation of meaningful social bonds. The comfort of prayer, the joy of a religious ceremony, or the feeling of being unconditionally loved by a divine being. These experiences resonate deeply within our emotional brain, making faith not just an idea, but a felt reality. It's why beliefs can be so powerful and so personal. Let's also talk about the power of stories. Our brains are natural storytelling machines. We constantly create narratives to make sense of the world around us. Religion provides some of the most enduring and compelling narratives in human history. These stories about creation, purpose, morality, and life after death activate language and comprehension centers in our brain, like Wernicke's and Broca's areas. These narratives give us a framework for understanding our place in the cosmos. They offer structure and meaning, which our brains are hardwired to seek out. So, what does all this mean? If we can map the neural correlates of faith, does that mean religion is just a brain state? This is the central debate. Some atheists and skeptics might argue yes. They might say that these brain activities are all there is, and that faith is an elaborate illusion, a sort of neurological trick our minds play on us. They might point to experiments where stimulating certain brain regions can induce out-of-body experiences or a sense of a felt presence, suggesting these phenomena are purely biological. However, many others, including scientists who are themselves religious, offer a different perspective. They argue that the brain is simply the hardware through which spiritual reality is perceived. Think of it like a radio. A radio receiver picks up invisible waves and translates them into audible music. Finding the receiver and understanding how it works doesn't mean the radio waves aren't real. In the same way, these scientists suggest the brain might be the biological instrument that allows us to connect with a spiritual dimension that exists outside of ourselves. The brain isn't creating God, it's perceiving God. This viewpoint suggests that our brains may have evolved to be receptive to spiritual experiences. From an evolutionary perspective, this makes some sense. Shared beliefs and rituals have been incredibly effective at binding communities together, promoting cooperation, and helping groups survive. A belief in a higher power that watches over you can provide immense comfort and reduce the anxiety of a dangerous and unpredictable world. So, natural selection might have favored brains that were capable of having these faith-based experiences. Ultimately, neurotheology cannot answer the ultimate question of whether God exists. Science is a tool for studying the observable, material world. It can describe the how of a religious experience, which neurons fire, which chemicals are released. But it can't definitively answer the why in a metaphysical sense. It can't prove or disprove the existence of a reality beyond our physical world. That remains a question of faith, philosophy, and personal experience. So, where does that leave us? With a profound sense of wonder at the mystery of the human brain. Whether you see faith as a divine gift or a complex neurological process, the fact that our 3-pound brain can contemplate the vastness of the universe, wrestle with questions of meaning and purpose, and feel a connection to something larger than itself, is nothing short of miraculous. It shows that the quest for meaning is deeply embedded in our biology. The conversation between science and religion doesn't have to be a battle. Instead, it can be a fascinating dialogue that enriches our understanding of both. Science reveals the incredible complexity of the brain that experiences faith, while faith continues to provide meaning and hope for billions of people around the world. The mystery isn't just out there in the cosmos, it's also in here, inside our own heads. What do you think? Is faith a product of the brain, or is the brain a product designed for faith? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective on this. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the mind. If you enjoyed this exploration, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest questions of science and humanity. See you next time.